Last time we talked to you guys, we were heading into St. Louis. We did a bunch of changes to the throttle body of the car, having some issues with it when we were in New Jersey. And as we thought, we were going to go into St. Louis with a perfectly good working throttle body after all that work, and that's not the case. We roll into St. Louis after we burned like 8 tires off of the car, 8 GT radials off of the car at E-Town testing. We come into St. Louis, we roll in there, and then the car starts messing up immediately. We thought it was tipping on the throttle because we had to do some tuning stuff in the link ECU, and then it started to show its face even more and more issues with throttle related stuff. And I'm going to throw it over to Carlos, and we're going to talk about what exactly we learned at that event.
Okay, so the only difference here as to where it was before is the same issue was there. The only difference was Dylan was able to use his foot to throttle down still. So the car wouldn't shut off on us anymore.
Because we have a cable now, right?
Right, but it still wasn't running right because there is still a sensor there that tells the ECU what position the throttle is in to tell it how much fuel to add. So that was where the fault was. So we started to track down that. It's called a TPS sensor. Come to find out, it was the supply 5 volt to that sensor. And the reason why we didn't catch that at first is because that 5 volt is shared with all the sensors on the car. So all the sensors on the car worked. So we're like, it can't be the 5 volt supply. It has to be the signal. So we started tracing down the signal. I ended up making a wire straight from the sensor all the way to the ECU for the signal wire. And then we realized like, hey, the problem is still there. And it's because the 5 volt, where it branches off to that throttle position sensor was faulty. So ended up stealing a 5 volt from the fuel pressure sensor, went to the throttle position sensor, and then we haven't looked back since.
Basically just hardwired it. Something is wrong inside of the wiring harness that we didn't catch because of those sensors were all shared on one circuit. So anyway, we hardwired it. Everything was good. We lost a little bit of practice, and we start competing. Everything was good. We had a sick battle with Hiro Manoa. Super proud of that chase and a good lead. So I ended up getting the win. Went through a couple more battles, and then we ended up running one more time with Jack Shanahan. Super tight battle. He ended up getting the better of us. 4th place at that event. Not too bad. Still haven't had that elusive podium yet. So not a bad event. We persevered even though we thought that we had our throttle body issues figured. But hey, you live and you learn, right? We ended up making it through the event. We had a really good event, right? The pages are kind of turning for us. We're happy. So moving on to Seattle. Crazy event. Local guy up there. Super, super fun. Love the track, love the crowd, love the vibe. Get up there, go through a couple battles. Everything's feeling pretty good. And then we get to go battle Adam LZ. And still a little salty about it, not gonna lie to you. We end up, homie spins in front of me, straight up. Said it publicly multiple times in his video, said he wasn't sure if he was gonna hold it off. That's spinning to me. And I was right there, like that's what happened. So judges deemed it my fault because I didn't give him enough room to spin I guess. And which is crazy. It sucked, whatever. Moving on to Utah. A couple of short weeks later, it was only like 2.5 weeks. So if we'd have won that Adam LZ battle, we would have been guaranteed a podium because of our 4th place finish at St. Louis. So -1 podium, sounds good. Going to Utah, have a couple of really sick battles. Battled Connor Shanahan, he shut his car down in front of me. They tried to blame it on me somehow. Ended up getting the win. Go to battle Matt Field, and you all saw what happened there. I ended up going a little bit too much car ramrod. Sun was in my eyes. Couldn't see, I bumped him, whatever, stuff happened. We ended up full-blown mounting the Corvette. Matt was a huge, like a really good sport about it. And it was honestly a lot of fun. We got a whole bunch of views, and that was pretty cool. So they deemed me at fault for that. And so then we went out, got 4th place again. So really, like from my point of view, I posted it online. I had an onboard camera that was running inside of the car with me. So we flick into the first turn, clear outside zone 1, getting up pretty close to him. The sun was just horribly, terribly, like right on the horizon, so I couldn't see anything. Transition through the smoke, full send, pop out of the smoke, and I'm running up on him, and I knew he was gonna fire off at that point on the track on outside zone 3. So I kind of came in, bumped him, and I'm not sure if that kind of pushed him a little bit wide. That might have been the case what happened there. I had no idea where I was. I was just making sure I had the skinny pedal through the floor to make sure I didn't get rolled. So I think I bumped him, and it might have set him a little bit more wide, and then as he dipped a tire off the track, he can no longer be full throttle. So now he's like pedaling it to keep from spinning. And at that point, my car was at shallower angle and my foot's through the floor. So I ended up just hitting the backside of his front tire. And that's where it just immediately popped the car up in the air, and I'm just looking at the sky. And what was crazy about the whole thing is as soon as that happens, I just go clutch in and then I put the car in neutral. And what's crazy is like I'm off the power and I'm looking at the sky because I'm Hans device in, I'm strapped in, I can't see anything. And we're still moving. and then we're still like, I can feel we're like still flying off the track. But I mean, it was only a couple of seconds, but it felt like 10 minutes in the car. I was just waiting for us to run into something yet again, like the edge of the track or a barrier or something. But pretty crazy feeling, man, just looking up at the sky, having zero control over what's happening. And then, of course, we come to a stop, and I'm like this in the car, like facing backwards up at the sky. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm fully on top of Matt. I just hope he's okay. That was the first thing that came through my head. So you can see in the onboard video, I kind of like don't know what to do. I'm like, do I jump out? I'm like 6 feet off the ground right now. I don't really know what to do. So turn the car off. My oil pan was right next to his windshield. My high idle was on. My idle is at 3,200 RPM. So the motor's just bob, like sitting there. So kill the high idle, flick the motor off, get out. You know, and luckily Matt was already out at that time. So gave him a hug, told him I'm sorry, said a bunch of choice words, and I don't know, all's well that ends well, I guess. I'm sorry to the Drift Cave boys for giving them a little bit of extra work and tearing up some of those HGK body panels, but I don't know. I think it was pretty epic, and shout out to Matt for being a good sport about it, and we got some really good clips out of it at least. So yeah, good times all around. The car's destroyed, like visually, like the body kit's destroyed, the brand new titanium exhaust I just made is destroyed, but I mean, that's part of the deal, right? We're here to send, and I officially do not care about the car at all, and I think that reflects in my driving. So we're just going to keep sending it harder and harder, and we're still chasing down that elusive podium, even though we should have 2 this year. But it's been a lot of fun just driving like I don't care at all. I've really been enjoying it, and that's where we're at now. We're going to rebody the car, we're going to rewrap the car, and we are going to go into the final round, which is Long Beach 2, and guess what? We're going to send it. Even with the freshly wrapped car, new body kit and all that, it'll be looking good here in the next couple weeks. But like I said, we're going to send. We're going to get that podium. So,
I mean, we're going into Long Beach 2. We've never been to that set layout. No one knows what it's going to be. So we're just going to set up the car similar to Long Beach at the beginning of the year and go from there. But the unique thing about Utah is we're at a really high elevation. So temperatures are way different in the car as far as cooling is concerned, because the air is less dense, so it doesn't have the same cooling capabilities that it would at sea level. So we're spraying down the front of the intercooler, but I just want to say a testament to the Royal Purple Oil, because the highest oil temp got was 250, and then the highest coolant temperature got was 240. So and that was like peak. You know, we had no problems cooling, basically, and that's just the oils in there. We don't have an oil cooler, and it worked just perfect. And it's funny to forget problems when they're not there. So like, it was cool to just be able to put fuel in the car and just keep going and not worry about mechanical issues. And I think we do well when the car works well, which is St. Louis, Washington, and Utah. So I think we'll do pretty well in Long Beach as well. We just got to bring it.
This episode is brought to you by Royal Purple Max Gear. We've been running this stuff the past several years in our car, the transmission and the differential in this car, 1,000 of the wheels, never have any gear wear in the transmission, never have any extra wear in the differential on these cars. Honestly, just a really, really impressive product, and we absolutely recommend it to anybody who's into competition motorsports or sticking in your daily driver. Stuff will last forever. So thank you for watching.